Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. This is going to be general messages for the month of May for the sign of Aquarius. Hello, Aquarius. How are you doing? Hope everything's going well for you guys. Hope everything is feeling fabulous and amazing as you come into this reading. Quickly off the bat, if you are not interested in the chit chat and the shuffling, go ahead and check the description box below. You're going to see a timestamp down there for when the reading actually begins. Also in the description box, you'll see information on how to go about getting a private reading with me. If you're interested in that, you will find that information below. Quick thank you to returning viewers and even new viewers. I appreciate it, as I am still a very new, very fresh tarot reader here on YouTube. So coming to see this video today, that is amazing, and I thank you guys for that. If you like what you see here today, if it resonates with you in any kind of way, please like and comment on the video. If you feel that others should see what this video is all about, or if there's a particular message that you think others need to hear, go ahead and share that with them. And also subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already and you feel compelled to do so. Alright, Aquarius, I was meditating with your energy previously before I hit record on the camera there, so I'm just going to reestablish, and then I'm going to get to your reading. If you're new to my channel and you've never seen me do this before, what I do is a 6-card spread, and then you get 7th card as your outcome, and the bottom of the deck acts as your overall energy for the month. What else? If you're new to the channel or you don't really recall, the opera music that you hear playing, that's for me. It helps me kind of stay focused while I do these readings. So if it's not your cup of tea, I do apologize, but also not apologize. Anything else? No, I think that's it. So, and again, I appreciate anybody who's watching this right now and who has watched previous videos of mine on this channel. I really do appreciate it. The response has been amazing so far. It's actually been pretty surprising. So thanks, guys. I really do appreciate it. All right, Aquarius, you're here. It's just you're like kind of taking your time to come back to the. It's like I feel it, but it's not there 100%. It's like loading. Aquarius. Yes, okay, there it is. All right, Aquarius, let's go. Side winder. Up or down, please. Up, thank you. Okay. Flipped and then was underneath. That's interesting. There? Okay. So this one felt like it was pointed this way. This guy, sideways. Which way, please? Aquarius, May 2018. Which way, please? Down, okay. Aquarius. Come on. It's like some want to come out, but they're not coming out. So that might be something for some of you guys. You want to come out, but you're not coming out. Flipped. There we go. 10 of Pentacles. That's nice. And let's get your outcome card, Aquarius, for the month. Outcome for Aquarius. Yours is one of the fastest that I've been able to shuffle. Like, I've done these in the past couple of days, and I don't know, there's like a intensity there. Sidewinder. Which way, please? Oh, okay. So like that. Bottom of the deck is... Oh. Okay. Let me just double check because I'm looking. Okay, bottom of the deck is your overall energy. And my deck is pretty much in the upright, but you have the Empress in reverse as your overall energy, Aquarius. So that's interesting. Alright, let's flip these over and let's see what you got. Okay. Couple of majors here. Aquarius, May 2018. Where are you? What's going on? This is love. So let's just get that out in the open. This is probably to do with love for several of you. Where's Aquarius, please? Okay. Boy, where are you? I think you're over here. Yeah. Alright. Aquarius, you are the Ten of Pentacles heavily. Are you also the Two of Swords? Is Aquarius also Two of Swords? Yes. Oh boy. Alright, I don't really... This is... Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and start. Aquarius, coming into May, if I could pick up the dang card, you are coming in as the Ten of Pentacles upright. Aquarius, I feel like this is your focus. This is what's driving you. This is what's kind of informing you. This is what you believe in. This is what you have set your mind to, so to speak, okay? And so, Ten of Pentacles, when we see this, what we're talking about is legacy. We're talking about family history and the passing on of leadership within a family dynamic. And it's sturdy, it's firm, right? It's established. So some of you have concerns surrounding your family, surrounding legacy and issues of hierarchy, okay, within a family dynamic. So this could be, you might have issues within your own family or your blended family as far as like your in-laws and your spouse's family. But there's something that, this is like the core of you as you come into May, where you're thinking about family, 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 and the future of family. And what does that mean? What does that look like? How will it be defined? Who's going to be a part of the household? If you're buying a new home, or if you're moving in with your spouse, or they're moving in with you, and that would be strange to some of you to move in with your spouse, but I've seen it happen. Two people are married, but they live separately. So there's this idea of things coming together, making like fusion. And I think it's a matter of fusing two families that have been separate, or two households that have been separate, or fusing what you are desiring, Aquarius, what you want in your life, what you desire to have in terms of your family, with the reality that is before you. So some of you are in a relationship or in a circumstance where maybe you're thinking long term and the partner that you're with is not thinking long term, or you're evaluating whether that person fits the criteria of your long-term plan, of your long-term goal and vision for what your family legacy looks like. There's a decision having to be made there, and you can see that because the Two of Swords is above. Now, this is where I'm saying there's like this idea of fusion. So some of you are dealing with a partner, Aquarius, that isn't really cutting the mustard, because they don't see what you see. You see the woman there in the Two of Swords, she's blindfolded, she's got her arms crossed over her chest, shutting out her heart chakra, shutting out that sort of that valve or pipeline of love, which is how we get along with each other in terms of love and relationships. We have to share it from our heart chakra, right? So some of you Aquarius, your partner is just like closed off. They're not seeing what you're seeing. They don't value what you value. Because, you know, when we talk about pentacles, we're also talking about values, not just things that we own or possess, but also our moral values and our convictions and our belief systems, right? And so this person and you just aren't seeing eye to eye. And literally because they are, well, not literally because they're blindfolded, but literally, figuratively because they're blindfolded. You're like making plans and you're kind of already got like baby names picked out and you know what school district you guys are going to live in and you know the size of the square footage of the home that you want to buy. You know, and you're like, oh, it's going to be great when we send our kids off to prom. Like you are so down deep in the rabbit hole of the future, but your partner's like, like they're just sitting idly by, kind of plugging their ears and shading their eyes, acting as if you're not saying any of this stuff. Like you're very vocal about it. You're sharing it. You're not being quiet about, oh, I think we should live here because the schools are great and we're near this highway or this airport, so it'll be easy for our folks to come in and out of town to visit the kids. Like you are very vocal about how you envision your future with this person specifically, and they're just like letting you talk. They're not communicating it. They're not sharing their thoughts on the subject. They're just letting you talk a mile a minute or 100 miles a minute or however you're supposed to say that. And you're none the wiser. You're not really picking up on their silence. You're not picking up on their lack of communication back. That's for some of you. For others of you, this is you, where you're talking yourself into this idea of legacy. But at the same time, either you're not believing it or you're ignoring that your partner isn't fitting this bill. Like part of you believes they can fit into this mold, into this position, into this role, into this vision of the future. And another part of you is like, maybe not. Maybe not. And there's like there's two sides of you kind of not battling each other, but they coexist. They coexist. In this situation where these two parts of you are coexisting, they're existing as a safeguard. Like, you're not trying to blow smoke up your own butt. You're not trying to see things through rose-tinted glasses. You want to be honest and you want to be clear with yourself. And part of you is like, this person might not be it. So you're like reserving that as a possibility. You've like etched out a part of your brain, a part of your consciousness, which says, we have this vision. And you're sticking to it. This vision is very clear to you, Aquarius. You really like this, what you've planned for your future. You feel really attached to it. You feel very at home, pardon the pun, with this family dynamic that you envision for yourself. So you're kind of like not going to waver when it comes to this being a goal. But then you're like, I don't know if Joe Schmo, my partner, or the person I'm dating, the person I'm thinking about starting to date, the person I've been with for 5 years, however long that relationship is, you're not sure if they fit the bill. And part of you is like sitting in the corner, like reminding you, don't get too caught up in this. Don't get too caught up in dreamland over here. Be rational, be reasonable. Safeguard yourself. Don't put your whole heart into this. Now, why is that? Because for some of you, this is someone from your past, the person that is your partner, the person who's playing dumb and acting like they don't recognize that you're building dreamscapes for them and yourself in the future. Or the person who might be sharing in your dreams and saying they're on board, but then something in the back of your mind is nagging you. And it's like, is it really them? Like, they agree with our vision, but is it really them? Like, part of you is like, I don't know, there's something fishy going on here. Or there's just this doubt, this piece of doubt Doubt. Is it doubt? Safeguarding. There's a part of you that's safeguarding for the chance that this person isn't everything they're cracked up to be, isn't everything they proclaim themselves to be. That's what's going on. Now, why is that? For some of you, this is someone from your past. And I don't know if you've watched any of my other videos. I don't go in for the traditional interpretations of many of these cards, even though this is the most traditional deck. It is the Rider-Waite deck. But in this instance, I am wholeheartedly in the traditional understanding of this card. This is somebody you've dealt with before, many of you. Now, Six of Cups. So that means that means an ex, someone from previous part in your life, not necessarily your childhood or your adolescence or anything like that, or like a high school sweetheart. It could have been your previous ex. It could have been the person you last went out with, and then you had a long drought, so to speak, and now you're back with this person. And if it's not, because, it is a general reading, so not every one of you is with someone that you used to date, used to be involved with. Some of you are with someone who kind of reminds you of that person, of a particular person from your past, or they're repeating they have repeated behaviors and characteristics of your previous exes. Or if you're into that sort of thing, which I am into, this would be someone from your past, as in like a past life. So you've known each other before. So they might be new to you, but you guys have some weird, eerie connection where you're like, damn, feels like I've known you my whole life. Well, you've known them for a previous life. But yeah, so the traditional understanding of this Six of Cups is really striking to me. Like, it is this feeling of being connected to something from long ago, or a person from long ago. And this connection is substantial. And long ago doesn't necessarily mean, previous lifetimes, or when you were 15 years old and this was like your high school crush or something like that. Long ago can still be like within a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. Time is very mutable. It's very subjective. But it is this feeling of you've known them before. You have a history with this person. And it is a tender history. There's good things that have transpired between you and this person. Good times. Wonderful memories. That's the beautiful side of this. You also know this person because of the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords in reverse. This is what you had with this person. It is in reverse, meaning it's not happening right now. It's not current energy. This is residual energy. This is the memory of the bull and the heartache and the bad times that you guys had together. This relationship is very dynamic. This relationship with this person is very serious. There's a lot of history going on here, a lot of deep feelings, okay? Now, the Ten of Swords is here in reverse, again, because it's not happening right now. Right now, I think you're in a good place. It feels good when I picked up this card, even though it's a dark card. And it is talking about a release. This feels like a release from a while ago. This is like a distant memory. This is attached to the Two of Swords. There's like a cross here. The Six of Cups attaches to the Ten of Pentacles, and the Two of Swords attaches to the Ten of Swords in reverse. And that cross, I don't know if you can see, I'm making like an X with my wrists here. This is making a cross or an X. So there's a lot of like crossing and X's and revisiting. There's this cycle thing going on here, recycled thing going on here, okay? And this person, not to say that they caused you this, like you were a victim. Like this card is very victimish. Victimish? It portrays victimization in the sense of who is going to do that to another person. 10 swords straight up in the back. That's pure victimization. Okay? This person didn't have a fighting chance because they got stabbed in the back, right? Now, I say that to say, or the reason I mention that is, I don't think that is what happened here. I don't think you were a victim, Aquarius. If you were, it was because you were foolish and you didn't protect yourself and you weren't wise to the game that you were playing with this person. You weren't wise to their ways. You weren't wise to the type of person that they were who could hurt you so badly. You were very trusting with them. Others of you, you were very wise. You were very aware of who they were and their capabilities to hurt you, but you still engaged with them anyway. So again, you're not a victim, and I hate to be so kind of callous with you, but that's kind of how this is coming across. See this card and don't think, oh yeah, he did or she did hurt me in the past, and be reminded and act as if you're like some lamb out in the woods that are like chock full of wolves. No, you were a lamb and you were on your own farm. You were surrounded by other lambs, and you weren't a dumb lamb either. You know, you had a moment to protect yourself. You had the means to protect yourself or be protected or to escape from this person. It wasn't like you were just, you know, served up on a platter to them and they took advantage of you. In some cases that might have been true, but Aquarius, you're not dumb. And I feel like some of you are playing dumb. You're playing like you didn't have some type of co-ownership of this pain. And, you know, this person that you're dealing with, they're a human being too, and so you have the capability to have hurt them as well. I get from this card, you both hurt each other, but some of you are going to take it as if you were the only hurt person. No, you got to realize that you may have hurt them too. But whatever it is, it's not bad. This is not like bad blood or anything. This is not like preventing you guys from being together. This is just, again, this is the Two of Swords going like, remember what we did before. Remember how we felt before. Don't be so foolish this time around when it comes to our goal of the Ten of Pentacles, our vision of the Ten of Pentacles. Let's not get all dreamy over this person. Remember that there was some crap we had to deal with them, and it wasn't pleasant. That's what the Ten of Swords in reverse is here for, to remind you. Photographic evidence. Exhibit A. That fight we had in the parking lot of Chili's. 2015. It was a rough one. I don't know why I said that, but that's what came in my head. So for some of you, it's like recalling those specific moments of when things weren't so great and prosperous with this person, and you guys really were butting heads and arguing and ripping chunks out of each other verbally, maybe in some cases physically. But, oh boy. And you want this Ten of Pentacles, Aquarius. You really do. You see yourself there. Like, you're like, some of you are like practicing like manifestation, like mindful meditation. You're doing visualization. Some of you are doing vision boards. Some of you are trying to do lucid dreaming, connecting with your higher selves, asking for guidance from tarot readers and astrologers and all that stuff. You're doing like everything within your power. You're also working. Let's not ignore that. You're working. You're stacking your chips. So you're doing everything that you can in the physical world, in the practical realm, and you're also doing things in the metaphysical realm. You really want this. You're putting in a lot of work here. A lot of work. You almost are obsessed with this. And the thing about it is, I'm not sure why you are. You are, but maybe you don't know why you are. You know, like sometimes we just want something and we don't truly know why we want it. We just know that we want it. And let's get real. Let's get honest here, okay? Some of you want this because, God, because it just looks good. No, not like that. Not flippant like that. It just looks good. No, like it's a dream. It's a dream come true. It would be a step up from your previous experience in your life. This whole legacy and family, maybe you have a dysfunctional family on your side of things. Maybe, you know, your parents were divorced by the time you were 10. Maybe you've got a couple of half brothers and sisters. Maybe you've got a cousin who's in jail. You've got an uncle with a drug problem. You just don't have this shiny, pretty family thing. Like, this is almost like, you know, like a Leave It to Beaver kind of situation. Only like if they did like a 2018 reboot of Leave It to Beaver with all like the accoutrement of living in the 21st century. But you still, you know what I mean? It's like you want progression and you want to have a family that's modern and inclusive and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But you also want the family values of an era previous to the time that you live now. It's a weird amalgamation of what you want, but it's very dreamy, and this is why this is here. Like, don't dream so hard. Let's get real. This is trying to tell you to remember the real stuff that's going on. But you're very dreamy about it. And I don't think you know why. Not to say like it's unrealistic. It could happen. You could be the person in your family that gets that happy, happily ever after fairy tale ending with the perfect partner who has a wonderful family of their own that will merge with yours, and you'll ride off into the sunset with your 16 kids, or that's a lot of kids. I'm sorry. Let's say 4, 4 kids or something like that. And make this legacy, like you could be the starting point of this legacy. Like some of you are imagining like being a grandparent, being great-grandparents, and you're only like 25. There's nothing wrong with thinking of that. There's nothing wrong with having that as a goal. It's just a matter of why. There's this disconnect as to why. Because the person who you're thinking of, the person who's in your midst right now, they have potential, but a part of you is like, but they might be a rube. Like, this might not be the one. Why are we stacking all our chips? Why are we placing all our chips on this one horse? This might not be the horse that wins the race for us, to use that analogy. So part of you is already doubtful. So you're so hardcore on the image, yet you're doubtful. That's conflicting in a way. That's contradictory in a way, okay? It is a safeguard, like I mentioned earlier, but the reason that you have 2 separate thoughts, that signals something deeper. What's the deeper reasoning why you have these 2 conflicts? Or these 2 conflicting, contrary states of mind or trains of thought? There's a certain disconnect going on within you, Aquarius, that you're not recognizing. You're like, you're kind of sweeping it under the rug. Because again, this 2 of Swords can also be your energy. It is also the energy of the person who's like listening to you talk about what it's going to be like when you're grandparents, and they're not saying anything about whether they agree or disagree. They're just sitting there letting you talk. But this is also your energy. You're also, as you're talking out of one side of yourself, it's going to be great. We're going to have grandkids. We're going to go on family vacations. Another part of you is just listening, going, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, uh-huh. And that part of you is like taking notes, being like, look, when this all falls to crap, I'm the part of Aquarius that's going to rally. You know what I mean? So that safeguard aspect is there. Why? You have these 2 cards on the far side of where you started off. Part of you is very traditional, Aquarius, which is interesting because Aquarius is not about traditionalism in a lot of ways, but part of you is. And that has to do with, I think you being, well, whatever, that's regardless. Anyway, the Hierophant represents tradition, represents deep values and systems and institutions that kind of take up those values in a society and reflect them back out into the world. So governments, schools, religion, philosophies, ideologies, all that kind of stuff. That has to do with the Hierophant. Also has to do with aspects of marriage. So some of you are already married, trying to get to here because it's something that you believe in, but it might not be working out. But the more than that, this is talking about your adherence to this happy family, Leave It to Beaver, happily ever after, Disney, put a nice red bow on it and sell it on Blu-ray for $59 or some crap like that. Part of you is into that, which is funny because that's not what Aquarius is about in a lot of ways. Aquarius is about expansion, improving upon systems at play already, making what is status quo old hat, old news, upsetting the status quo, rewriting the foundations of what it means to be a modern family. So maybe that's how this links back to the 10 of Pentacles. Instead of Leave It to Beaver, maybe you want Modern Family, like that TV show that's on right now. Maybe that's your idea of what a well-rounded and progressive family looks like in today's world. Something modern family-ish, or family-like, something blackish, something like Fresh Off the Boat. I don't watch any of those shows, really. But those are like, you know, sort of those quirky ways of seeing modern families that have troubles, but they still work it out. And so maybe that's your vision. And that's kind of, like I said, systemic, or systematic, I should say, which is not your bag. It's not usually how you like to roll, Aquarius. So I don't know, but I would implore you to kind of question, why is this here in relation to the Ten of Pentacles? Because they corner each other, so they have some kind of pull towards each other, some kind of connection towards each other. They run diagonal to each other. Why is that a connection? It's also the card of Taurus. I don't know if I said that. And so for some of you, a Taurus might be of significance here in this situation. Some of you might be involved with a Taurus, or there might be a Taurus within your family that's of significance. Okay. I mentioned in a previous video, I don't know when and where, but I did mention there's this idea also with the Hierophant of prescriptive behavior, or prescriptive ways of living. So for some of you, you're like you're like falling in line with the expectations of life. Not even a particular person, not even necessarily society. I think some of you might have friends and other family members, co-workers, what have you, who have a married life, who have a happy family life, who are doing the whole, you know, prescripted thing that is prescribed to a lot of us in Western society. You grow up, you go to college, you get some crappy job, you date around for a little while, then you meet someone of substance. You meet that person, you date them seriously, you get engaged. After you stay engaged for a little while, then you get married. Once you're married for a little while, then you have kids. Then you get interested, and along the way, while you're doing all this married, let's have babies kind of thing, you're also improving your work life. So you're moving up the corporate ladder, you're moving up the social economic ladder. All that's very prescriptive, not just to American society or even Western society. A lot of societies have that same model. That's how you progress as a human being on Earth. But you're not from Earth. I don't know how often you watch tarot readings or how deep you get into your own astrology, Aquarius, but you're not from Earth. You're one of the alien zodiacs. You're like interested in, like I said, upsetting the apple cart, upsetting the status quo. Why is that prescribed that way? Why do I have to buy into that? That's not for me. Or the specific way in which you're telling me I need to fulfill or check those boxes. I don't want to do that. So for some of you, maybe, you know, your Ten of Pentacles vision, the way that you're trying to get these two energies together, the Ten of Pentacles with the Hierophant, is to say, okay, I want a happy family, but instead of like it being, you know, one person married to another, I'm interested in polyamorous marriage. Or bigamy, if you're a Mormon, I guess. Well, I guess Mormons don't call it bigamy. But, you know, maybe some of you are like that. Or some of you are like, I want a traditional family structured life, but I don't want the wedding. I don't want the paper. I don't want the contract. So that's another way of being untraditional. And that might satisfy you. And that might explain why this is here. Because again, I don't see Aquarius as being super traditional. If you do embrace traditionalisms, it's only to put your own personal spin on it, to put your own flavor on it, you know? It's like you have to do something extra to make it your own. You make it signature. But I'm not sure that it's going to work out with this person. Or at this juncture. If it's not the person, then it's the time frame in which you're thinking of. Or it's within the certain trajectory that you're kind of plotting out. Ace of Cups in reverse. Right underneath the Hierophant. So this is the absence of an offer and the absence of overflowing love. I don't feel that it's the absence of love, period. I think it's I think it's the absence of potentiality, and you don't necessarily believe that or see that or recognize it or accept it. This is very disjointed. Now, and this is interesting because this now is cornered to the Two of Swords, diagonal to the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords is trying to warn you. This is cross the streams, like that Ghostbuster line just came to me. Like there's two parts of you, Aquarius, and you're going to cross the streams in May. This whole revelation of this might not be the one, this person might not be everything and all things that I thought they were, we might not be seeing eye to eye in the long run. That realization, I think, is going to become ever more present in you. Because you can't keep them separate anymore. You can't keep your optimism and hope for the future, your idealistic, modern family, leave it to beaver hybrid vision of your future. You can't keep that separate from your pessimism, your worry, your apprehension with this person, your apprehension with bringing your families into union, into a fusion with each other. Those two things have been separate for a while, but like I said, the streams are crossing. You're crossing the streams. You're bringing them in this X fashion. Here, X number 1, boom, 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 right? X number 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Crossing. A lot of crossing here. Two parts of yourself, two mindsets, two perspectives that have been separate, that haven't been in communication, that have been unbeknownst to one another, will be known to one another. You will come to, not a realization, but you're just going to stop faking it. You're very heavy here. This is not really involving a lot of other people. This is very internal energy with you. You've got cups and swords. The external part is the vision, where other people are more, not more, but the influence of other people is definitely here. If this is another person, it can be your partner. They're just sitting there, not listening to you, not giving you feedback on whether they agree or disagree with your vision of the future. They're just like deaf, dumb, and blind right now. Okay. But this is, I feel, also your energy as well. Aquarius, what's going on? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Oh, gosh. In any case, your outcome for May is the Hermit card. Card of Virgo, so there might be a Virgo at play here. And you've got Pentacles, you're heavy in the Pentacles, the Hierophant is here, and Virgo is here. So some of you might be dealing with earth signs. You also have the Empress card in your overall, and that can represent Taurus also again. So you might be dealing with an earth sign. Or there's this element, or there's this need to be grounded, to be practical, to root yourself in reality and wise up to the facts, okay? Now, the Hermit card, if it's not dealing or speaking to a Virgo of significance to you, Aquarius, the Hermit card encourages you, which is what I was just kind of saying, to get into those deep caverns of your mind, the deep caverns of your heart, and your inner self, and really shine a light in those deepest, darkest corners where truths, potentialities, realizations, epiphanies, where those things are hidden. The Hermit has to go and get them. Not get them and retrieve them, but go and face them. And you're being encouraged to do that. And his orientation is directly to the Ten of Pentacles. His lantern is pointed directly towards the Ten of Pentacles, right? That lantern there comes straight up next to the Ten of Pentacles. So you need to evaluate and understand and really ask some hard-hitting questions of why you want this. Why are you so focused on it? I'm not asking that question to critique you as a person, as the reader. This is more of a, if I was in your shoes, this is what if this was for me, if this was my spread, that's what I know. That is what I would see. That is what I know the cards are trying to tell me. I don't think this is a bad vision. Personally, I am very much similar. I like the idea of this, personally. There's nothing wrong with caring about your legacy and wondering about the future of your family and how you're going to prosper in this world with those around you that you love. There's nothing wrong with wondering about that, with having that as a goal, with having that be something that is a desire. But the Hermit, with his lantern, and the Hierophant cornering, being diagonal from that Ten of Pentacles, is asking you why. Why do you want it? I can't answer that. I cannot really answer that for you. You have to answer it for yourself. And I think the reason that you have to question it is because, like I said earlier, some of you are like very obsessed with this, very focused on it. You are like a dog with a bone, and every waking moment you're thinking about, okay, in 5 years we need to have this accomplished. In 7 years I want to have this accomplished. We need to have moved to, Nebraska, or moved out of Nebraska. We need to have X amount of dollars in the bank so that we can be on track for retirement. Like, you are constantly thinking and planning and plotting for that. And again, the question is why? I think from an astrological standpoint, in terms of your zodiac, it's very not you to be so planned sometimes, Aquarius, and to be so fixated on something that seems so traditional, even if it is a modern family, amalgamation and multinational and, queer inclusive family, whatever, as progressive and liberal as that vision is in your mind, it still is rooted in something very traditional. And that kind of doesn't vibe with you. I personally would question that. If I was an Aquarius and this was my reading and I was interpreting it, I'd be like, okay, I need to figure out what the traditional angle means to me. How is it affecting me right now? What's at play here in terms of traditionalism? Okay? Your overall energy, which I explained at the top, as I revealed it, is the Empress in reverse. This is the first time I've had a reversal as the overall energy because I shuffle my decks in the upright. But here she is. She's in reverse. So again, this is energy related to Taurus as well as Libra, since the Empress rules Venus, or is associated with Venus, I should say. And so a Taurus or a Libra may be of significance to you. Now, overall, maybe this is the why. The Empress, when she's in the upright, she's lush. She's abundant. She's fun and fancy free. She's got everything you could ever want in this world. She aims to please. She's a nurturer. She is self-sufficient. She just has it all. In the reverse, not so much, right? So some of you might be in a state of mind of lack, feeling like you don't have enough to give, people aren't giving enough to you, you don't feel a reciprocating energy in terms of love and affection. Some of you are lovelorn, some of you are desperate, okay? Some of you are concerned about your finances and not feeling as abundant and able to take care of yourself financially as you wish you could. And maybe your fixation on this Ten of Pentacles or the person associated with the Ten of Pentacles is because they have stability financially. They have a good handle on their finances, but you are sitting here and you're feeling like 2 steps away from the poorhouse or something. And this idea of merging with them would increase your wealth. Not to say like you're a gold digger or, male or female, it doesn't matter. Not to say that's your aim, that you don't have affection for this person, that you don't actually care for them, but because that would be like sort of a perk in you guys merging households or becoming a married couple, whatever, that's not proper motivation to do that. If that's like in your top 10 list of why you should be with this person, reevaluate. Or if you don't reevaluate, at least be honest with them and yourself and be like, look, I got barely 2 pots to piss in over here. Being with you would give me all of the pots. I'd get a full kitchen set and a house with like 4 bathrooms. That's part of my interest in taking things to the next level, okay? There probably is a better way to say that without sounding really materialistic, but that would be a driving truth that is of significance for some of you. And the Empress in reverse also can be a little like jealous, possessive, and irrational. Not seeing things as clearly as she would if she was upright. So some of you are just kind of sitting down, putting on those rose-tinted glasses, and you're lapping it up. You're drinking your own Kool-Aid. You're getting high off of your own supply. And that's not super great. But to me, awareness is half the battle, right? The more you know, star shoots across the screen, okay? That is, to me, sort of the upswing of this, or the silver lining in this reading, is that if this confirms anything, and if you've gotten this far and nothing has resonated for you, I'm sorry, but this reading is not for you. But if it has resonated at all, or touched on a few things that you think might be true, I would take that as the takeaway here. At least now it's on your radar. At least now you have some confirmation that the doubts that you're feeling, the lack that you're feeling, is being reflected back to you. Now, what do you plan to do going forward? That's not here in this spread. That's for you to decide. That's for you to think on. That's for you to get in touch with. And that's for you to puzzle out yourself, Aquarius. But for now, it just seems like some of you are in La La Land. And maybe you should come back to reality. Okay? Alright, Aquarius. I thank you so much for watching up until this point. If anything resonated with you, I would love to hear about it. I would love to read about it in the comments below. If you liked what you saw, whether it resonated or not, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I will come back again and deliver some more general messages for you guys in the month of June in about 4 weeks' time. And thanks again so much for watching, everybody. Bye.